Welcome, beloved hearts. This is Anrita Melchizedek, and I'd like to welcome you to 2022. It's going to be an absolute magical year for the most part for all of us as we leave behind so many of the challenges that we have experienced in 2021 and also 2020. And this year is really essentially about the 222 Crystalline Light Codes. I'm calling these the Crystalline Light Codes because it's all about solar expansion, deepening into solar Christ consciousness as the new Earth avatar race. And it's really just an amazing frequency and energy that is allowing us to collectively experience the next level of our soul's forward evolution in this ascension process, where we are now shifting not only in consciousness collectively into the fifth dimensional templates and beyond, but also as we hold that focus in consciousness, allowing the soul energy, the photonic light energy that radiates throughout the body to deepen and bring online the light body DNA, the codes that we experience as new earthers. And this is also really a lot about the energy of the sun and the energy of the moon. So for the sun, with that frequency of solar Christ consciousness, it's activating within us the inner sun, the Christ light within. And essentially with that, it's also activating the pineal gland, because the sun itself activates the pineal gland through the third eye and crown chakra, and also through the physical eyes. For those of you that do sun gazing, which is a really wonderful thing to do, as the sun is setting, for about 15-20 minutes to just be gazing up at the sun, and you see all those rainbow hues, and we see those crystalline light frequencies, and they're activating through the sun and into our body and supporting our body as it too shifts from the carbon-based frequencies into those crystalline light codes, and of course consciousness and cellular reprogramming as we release the density of the physical body. And it's been a very interesting year in 2021 as we're releasing, because so much of that density has been coming up for all of us, our programs, the judgments, the false beliefs, and we've seen that polarity balance through the 3D, 4D frequencies and energies as we realign and deepen into our own loving hearts and expand our own sacred light upon this beautiful earth. In the last few months in particular, we've been moving through the birthing canal of the Divine Mother to be able to come through into, from mid-January, to be able to bring through a new level of our creative gifts, bring through new levels of our service work, our mission codes, expand our work in different ways, or get into again the soul groups that we're working with in community and unity, because this year of the 222 Crystalline Light Codes, it's all essentially about new beginnings. It's about the spirit of community, unity, cooperation. It's about healing, manifestation, balance, and manifestation is a big one. And so we're balancing our lower bodies, we're releasing that density, we're holding our consciousness at the fifth dimension beyond, so that the body itself can move into crystalline consciousness. And essentially it's so much of a we year as we shine our beautiful soul light collectively as the I Am Avatar race, as the gatekeepers, grid keepers, flames of divinity, and vibrating portals of divine love, opening the stargates and portals from within and expanding the light of God upon this sacred earth. And it is a big commitment. It's a very big challenge, at least initially, to completely surrender to our own wonderful soul and our human aspects, the aspects of ourselves that are in pain and shame, or are still unconscious, still needing our love. They really are not going to move with grace and ease and trust and surrender. And so this year again in 2021, many of us were really taken to that point of the dark night of the soul, as we express it from a three-dimensional perspective, because that really was when we were humbled, where we were taken to our knees, where we just said, please God, I surrender. And essentially in the surrendering, we allow then the energy of the soul and the fusion of that photonic light and that crystalline consciousness to activate through the body and create the light body, because the light body is essentially the soul. We're walking souls, etheric arms, etheric legs, etheric bodies, and we are just shifting in consciousness initially into holding those bandwidths, those frequencies, those dimensions of consciousness, and all of that shifts and changes when we truly just surrender to what the body's needing, because it's a very, very physical process. And what we're also going through is so many changes physically as we repair the body parts and organs, and as we release those programming and false beliefs. And it is really very uncomfortable when we're releasing the anger, when we're releasing the judgment, when we're releasing the blame or the guilt. Often we feel it energetically through the body, being released from the pores, being released from the skins, being released in ruptures. Within the body, we can experience a lot of heart palpitations, which is really releasing a lot of the fear initially, and a great deal of discomfort as we then start to become our beloved I Am Presence, our higher selves upon the sacred earth. When we are working a lot with the sun energy, with the crystalline frequencies, which is really what we're doing now in this year, 2022, the pineal gland is activating, it's becoming its own stargate, and that too not only brings through the envisioning and the knowing of the ancient memories and a deepening sense of our galactic heritage and our starseed heritage, but also creates a lot of feelings of nausea through the body. It creates a lot of downtime where we need to take that time to go to sleep, to meditate, to be on our own, to walk, to be out in nature too, and really just honor the bodies with the foods that we eat, with the supplements that we're putting into the body, and releasing that which creates the denser frequencies, the addictions, the foods that don't agree with the body, the whatever it may be, the lower frequency shows or things that we're doing that aren't supporting us in raising our frequency of vibration, lifting the energy of our body. And so this year really is offering us this opportunity of expansion of not only our light work and divine purpose and soul mission, but we're coming also into deeper levels of remembrance of being initiates of light. And being a 6 number as well, it's actually reflected inwards through the star, the shape of the star tetrahedron, igniting within the golden heart, which is the heart chakra, the thymus chakra, and with that then creating the shape of the star tetrahedron, which is also the symbol of the inner plane order of Melchizedek, of many of the inner plane initiations we have experienced in timelines of ancient Egypt and Atlantis, in particular in the Golden Age timeline of Atlantis, and how that is now being played out in a new way for us. So the star tetrahedron, part of what this does is activate the light body Merkaba field for us. And the light body Merkaba field, once fully activated using the shape of the star tetrahedron, which is initially again the polarity of the masculine and feminine, and spinning these particular star tetrahedrons as specific Fibonacci ratios, guide speed to infinity, to create our activated Merkaba field, which is like a bubble. It's like a beautiful golden diamond sphere around us, and I usually perceive this as 54 feet in diameter around us. Some see it as a little bit less, 30, 40, 50 feet. around us, and within us is the sacred geometries really of the flower of life and Metatron's cube, and all these geometries are coming online. But this sphere that we're creating, the Merkaba field, then becomes our universe. It takes us into, this is my universe, this is my soul light, these are my creations. And as we're creating from within, as we're deepening into every day, doing our breathing, doing our meditation, coming into the awareness and consciousness of what we are co-creating with our soul and the collective consciousness of light, the collective I am avatar consciousness, and how we really just assisting the sacred earth and connecting into those unity grids. Our soul is sharing that information with us, so that each day we arise with just a deeper sense of knowing of what we need to do that day. And that is essentially coming through our hearts opening to release all that is needing to be released as we walk as open hearts upon the sacred earth, as these flames of divinity, as these beautiful Christ conscious beings, gatekeepers and grid keepers, and of course coming together more right now in unity and community. But as we go initially within, this is how New Earth presents for us. We close our eyes, we do our breathing, and we just go deep into that space within that allows that connection. And through the breath we start to send and experience gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude and appreciation for all that we have in our lives. Gratitude and appreciation for all those within our lives. And I'd like you to just for a moment just feel that beautiful gratitude and appreciation as it's been sent to you from my heart to yours. Just breathing it in, just breathing in your magnificence, your light, and just knowing how absolutely amazing and beautiful and precious you all are. That together we are co-creating our heaven on earth. So part of what has also been experienced are these multi-dimensional timelines merging into this now. And the timeline most being experienced and integrated is the Golden Age of Atlantis. For many of us, this was the last time that we experienced the activation of the full 12-strand DNA of the 12 dimensions that we can experience and move from. Not only do we move into the 5th dimension, but we can go all the way up to the 12th dimensional templates. And this is really just coming online again for those beautiful souls leading the way for all of us in this golden age of light. And with that too, then we're having ancient memories of these golden age timelines. These golden age timelines have been experienced in different ways in the last couple of years upon the sacred earth. We've seen primarily aspects of the fall of consciousness, that shift in consciousness between the sons of Belial, the law of one, and the Aryan race, and how many of the experiments that were played out then and were played out, let's say, World War II, are again on the world stage, being played out and released, not only in that separation consciousness and lesser than and better than consciousness, but in that disregard, should we say, for human life, in that suppression energy, in that experimental energy that really doesn't serve the highest good. And so this is shifting as we release within us that distorted masculine energy. And many of us over the last few months, apart from seeing what's been played out on the world stage, may be experiencing also this release of your own anger, the release of your own shame or guilt or victim persecutor consciousness. But essentially we're releasing the distorted masculine, and with it deepening into the divine feminine. And this is the initial stage of our 5th dimensional realities, where we are asked to simply be. That photonic light that activates through the body, an energy field it's like a stage where we're walking and dreaming. We are not only dreaming our reality into creation, but we are dreaming in our walking states, and everything feels quite otherwise. It's a very difficult it's not a difficult experience, but it's a very difficult thing to try and energetically describe. It's like a sense of everything is being slowed down, and things feel within that bubble, around you. It feels in some ways like you're needing to really slow down, that the body is just not wanting to move, and the mind, there's just stillness. And so it's the body's way of resetting for all of us, and we have to allow that connection that we have with Source, and that guidance that we have as Source Light with our soul, to really lead the way for us, where we just slow down, where we just bring everything into this 0 point, into this sense of beautiful stillness, of being in the now, where the old is dissolving, those timelines, those three-dimensional, fourth-dimensional timelines are dissolving, no longer needing to be experienced, as we hold ourselves, at least initially, in consciousness, and with the body starting to shift through this gateway into the fifth dimension, as the light codes are triggered within the body, and as the cells themselves start to vibrate in the crystalline consciousness, bringing online the crystals within the body too. And so part of what's being experienced then is the Golden Age timelines of Atlantis, where we experienced the crystal temples of light, where we experience everything in crystalline consciousness, where we remember ourselves as these initiates of light, and we can draw this and bring it into our energy right now. And part of the work that is going to be experienced this year with Voices of the Light Tribe is moving through these different crystal temples that are within us, and at the same time building the physical light body, and of course with that, like different levels of the light body as they come online. And once more, just to remember that the light body is essentially the soul embodied within the physical form, and it's the photonic light and the crystalline plasma consciousness that is bringing the new DNA online, that dormant DNA, or what we perceived from a three-dimensional perspective as that dormant DNA, which is essentially our galactic star DNA coming online. So it's a very exciting moment in time where we're feeling, or will be feeling, just much greater levels of joy and bliss, as the Kundalini is igniting too within us, and as Mother Earth's Kundalini is also igniting. And that's really what's happening right now, is we're having a new level of Kundalini activation being experienced through Mother Earth and through our own bodies. And that Kundalini then is bringing a rebalancing of a divine masculine and divine feminine spirits, and the birthing of our original child, our original innocence, which is essentially our higher selves, that purity, that innocence. And that then is what we hold, and like that innocent child, come to experience in a new way our purity and our innocence. And we're invited for our first masterclass in this month of January to travel into the crystal temple of the sun and moon within this golden age of Atlantis, and within us as one heart, to draw upon not only the sun codes and the moon codes, but the gamma light ray frequencies, the crystalline light codes, and really just deepen into our service work upon the sacred earth as one heart, but also deeper into that galactic connection, those multi-dimensional timelines of ourselves as Pleiadians, Sirians, Andromedans, Arcturians, Lyrians, all walking this sacred earth right now, co-creating our beautiful heaven on earth. And so we invite you to join us in this beautiful transmission, energetic transmission, and just so much love and blessings for this sacred year of 2022, which I am calling the New Earth Divine Rebirthing Codes of Light. Namaste.